Hi, today we're going to discuss a use case with Chargebee and RevLock integration. A scenario here is that a customer signs for a 1-year contract, invoice is generated for the full 1 year of service. 3 months down the road, it is realized that this customer will not pay, so you cancel the subscription. At this point, there'll be two things that are happening. One is for the 3 months of service, the revenue is already recognized, so you want to write off that revenue. Plus, for the 9 months of the term for which the service will not be provided, you want the contract to reflect that change in RevLock. So let's now see how we can create this use case in Chargebee and RevLock. What I'm using here, as you can see on the top, is a time machine feature in Chargebee where you can go back in time. So I am 6 months before the current clock time, which is 18th of February. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and create a subscription for a customer that I already have in the system called Acme. Let me add that plan, SaaS 1 year, US dollars yearly. And I'll put the subscription ID to be 1. The subscription starts immediately and then lasts forever. We don't want the payment to be collected immediately so that we can simulate 3 months of non-payment. So let's create the subscription. So if you scroll down now, you can see that the subscription is created and then there's an invoice that is generated with the payment due of the date, which is immediate. What we'll do now is we'll move forward 3 months and simulate 3 months of the service that is provided. Okay, so we're now in the month of May of 2021. If we scroll down, the invoice is still unpaid. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and cancel the subscription because it looks like this customer is never going to pay. So let's cancel it. We'll say cancel immediately. We want to create a credit note so that it can be reflected in the contract. Also, we want to retain whatever amount, whatever service is provided, amount for that in the invoice. So let's say cancel now. So this service is now, this subscription is now canceled immediately, and the credit note is issued on this invoice. It will take a minute for the credit note to be reflected. So I'll go back and maybe I'll have to refresh it. So if you look at in this invoice, as you can see, the total invoice was $1,200. There's a 907.51 adjustment that is already done, and this adjustment is accounting for subscription cancellation. So this is basically an amount which is prorated amount for the 9th month of service, which will not be provided. There's another part of it where you want to write off the amount which is remaining for this invoice. So you'll go ahead and you'll select write off this invoice, and you'll say you want to write off the full invoice, and then we'll confirm. So now, as you can see, even though the service had an invoice of $1,200, but all of it is now adjusted due to two events: subscription cancellation and the write-off event. Now, if you go into the subscription itself, so we'll go here and go into subscription. Might take a moment. You can see the subscription is canceled, and it is basically has $1,200 amount adjusted. If you go into the credit note, you'll see both the credit notes that I just showed you. So now let's go to the RevLock part of it, and then let's synchronize this data and see how this particular use case looks in RevLock. Go here. When you log into RevLock, you'll be on this screen, which is dashboard. You would want to go to sync and click on connect to other systems. I've already connected Chargebee as an invoicing system in this account. So if I go into invoice, I'll see Chargebee. I will click on this 3 dots to open the context menu and run the sync job. So this sync job is on a normal day would run automatically overnight. Although if there are some changes that you want to see immediately, you can always use this method of coming into RevLock and then triggering this ad hoc sync. It will take a couple minutes for this job to complete. I'll be back once it's done. Thanks. Okay, so sync is now complete. Let's go into RevLock and see how the data actually looks. We'll click on this customer button on the left, and we'll show you the customer that got loaded into RevLock. When you click into this customer, you're presented with 4 tabs. The first tab is customer details. There are sales orders, so the contracts which are associated with this customer. Invoices, which got synchronized from Chargebee into RevLock, and your deferred revenue roll forward. One thing to note here is that 2 of the 3 invoices actually got synchronized into RevLock. The first one is your $1200 original invoice, and then the credit note which was created due to your subscription cancellation. There was another credit note which was created because of the write-off. Write-off invoices or amounts do not get synchronized into RevLock. Reporting that needs to happen for the written off amount will happen in Chargebee. Now let's go into sales order and click on the sales order, which is so the first thing that it presents you with is your general information. All this information is coming directly from Chargebee, so you don't have to manually edit or add anything to it. The next section here is sales order item. As you can see, it presents you with the full amount of what's remaining in the contract, which is essentially $292. And it shows you what actually constitutes that $292. So there was an original invoice that got sent, and then there was a credit note due to cancellation. If we go into revenue arrangement here, you can see there are 3 sections in the sales order. This is some brief details of your order. Sales order item, again, is the same information that you were presented on the sales order. More relevant here is the revenue plan. So as you can see, the order was created in the month of February, and then 4 months down the road, it was canceled. So all the revenue that was taken for this contract was in these 4 months. If I toggle it to the tabular form, you can see that for the last 1 year US dollars, there was the first month prorated charge because it was a mid-month contract. So it's the prorated revenue recognition for the first month. And then you have the same constant amount for the next 2 months for which the service was provided. And then in the last month, it prorates again based on the number of days remaining. So that's how the RevLock will create your plan for revenue recognition for this contract. If you go back to customer now and click into the deferred revenue roll forward, you can see that it kind of lay out very clearly how the revenue is rolling each month at the beginning, and then what revenue is taken for that month. So for the first month, you can see there was a 12-month $100 billing. The revenue plan states that the $33 revenue that will be taken, and which kind of lowers the deferred revenue amount to $1,166. Next month, it takes a revenue which is additional 101.37, and then it kind of rolled down the amount of deferred revenue again, and so on. And in the end, in the last month, as you can see, that there was a credit note which was issued because of cancellation, and your beginning deferred revenue is netted by this billing, and then whatever revenue is remaining for that month is taken, and your ending deferred revenue is 0. So this is how a RevLock will roll forward your revenue month after month, and also will incorporate any modifications that happens due to cancellation or any expansion or contraction. I hope that helps. If you have any questions, please reach out to us and we'll be happy to answer them. Thank you. Bye.